Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. In this video we are going to learn how to create this yummy cracker animation in After Effects. We'll be using a effects called shatter in order to create this effects in After Effects. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe and turn on the notification. So in order to start the animation, we'll be creating a new composition of 1080 into 1080 with maybe 20 or 30 frames duration. And here I have a image of a cracker image which I downloaded from internet. So you can just use any kind of image or anything like that. So here I am using this image in order to create the animation. So once that is done, we can just rename it so it will be much easier for us to handle it. Once that is done, we can go to effects and preset panel and search in for shatter. Once the effect is found, you can just drag and apply it to our image, and straight away you can see some changes are happening, and you will be able to see the effects, what's happening with the effects and things like that. And when you start applying it, it will be the image will be actually not visible properly, but the effect will be available. So you can just go to the shatter effect and select the rendered from the view option, and it will be your image will be visible. And after that, in order to make changes in the shatter effect, you can go to shape and select the pattern to glass, so that it will be having some random shapes with the different sizes and things like that. And straight away you can see how it's actually affecting. And here my image is actually little shorter, so I can just apply grow bound effect onto that layer and just increase the bound area, so it will not be having any kind of cutting or anything in the image. So once that is done, you can just increase the repetitions, so you will have more shattered pieces. And by changing the origin and things like that, you will be able to locate a different area for shatter to start, and how where the more of that pieces will be located and things like that. And after that, here you can see the thickness of that is too much, so we can reduce the thickness in the extrusion depth as well. If you want to increase, you can increase. You can here I'm just decreasing a little bit, so it will be much easier for me to handle that. And here I'm reducing the display quality as well. So otherwise what happens is, when you increase the details in the effect, the system will be a little bit slow down, so you have to keep that in mind as well. After that, you can just go to the force option here, and here you will be able to adjust depth in the sense how much shattering will happen, and then radius, how much that shatter will be contained. After that, you will be able to increase the strength as well. So by increasing the strength, the shatter pieces will be flying all over the place. By reducing it, you will be able to control it, how much you want to it to be spread. And the same thing is happening in force 2 as well. So here we want to control which area of that image is actually being shattered. So in order to do that, we are going to create a mask, so that it will be easy. So in order to do that, we will create a solid named mask with a white color, and after that we'll just select the pen tool and create a simple shape, and so that we have a we can actually add that mask to a certain area of the image. So the only the masked area will have that shatter effect of, happening to it. So once that is done, we can just hide the mask layer, and we'll go to the shatter effect, and in the gradient option, we'll just select a gradient layer as our mask, and straight away when you select that, the mask will be disappeared. After that, you can just go to the effects and mask from the source, and then you can just give the shatter threshold value as well. Here based on the value you are given, that mask will be affecting our image. Here I'm just giving a value of 1%, so the mask will be affecting properly. After that, if you go to the mask and change the position or the change the shape, based on whatever changes you are making, it will be affecting the image shatter effect as well. So the next thing is, right now we have our shatter contained to a certain area of the image. The next thing is we have to adjust the lighting and things like that. So in order to adjust the lighting, first I'll reduce the overall light intensity to really low value, so it will be a bit darkened. After that, we can increase the ambient light, so the overall light of that particular image will be equal. So that's how we can actually manage the lighting for our image as well as the shatter effect properly. Once the lighting and everything is completed, then we can go to our physics option, and we can just start making some changes and things like that. Here I am going to add the repetition a bit more, so we have some more smaller pieces for us to to animate, so that will be a bit interesting to watch. After that, we can go to the physics option. Here we can make changes here. First, rotation axis, you can change it however you want. Here I'm just selecting XY, and the random seed I'm adding a certain value. You can just experiment with these values, and randomness also you can just increase. After that, viscosity, when you increase viscosity, instead of like flying everything away, it will be after the initial shattering, it will be slowing down like in a oil kind of thing. After that, based on however viscosity you are adding, that effect uh, uh, will be happening. So here I am giving a value of 0.5. We can just change that value in the future based on how the animation is progressing. And for the gravity, we'll just reduce it. We don't want any of our parts to to go anywhere. We just want them to be floating. So we'll just reduce the value to 0, and then we can just increase the strength and radius and things like that to see how much farther we want the piece to be shattered. So right away you can see from the initial effect to we are actually able to see a much more interesting animation here. And like I said, you can just experiment with these values in the physics as well as the shape values and the repetition, things like that, and force values, in order to create something really interesting. So here I'm just showing you the bare minimum and basic things to create something interesting. So after that, based on your creativity, you'll be able to create something interesting. After that, in order to change the rotation and things like that of the overall shape, I'm just parenting that mask to our original image of our cracker. After that, we can just animate the radius in order to uh, uh, to show in which area we want that animation to be happening. So the first value will just add a default value for the current value, and after that, add a key for the current value. After that, we'll go back to maybe 20 frames and we'll add a value of 0. So up until maybe 2 or 3 seconds, nothing will be happening, and then the shattering will be happening. And you can just adjust the timing and things like that. And right now you can see the shattering is actually happening from the center of our cracker. Instead of that, we want it to be happening from the tip of our cracker. So you can just go to the force, and you can just change the position of that force, and so that it will be, the shattering will be happening from the tip instead of the center of our cracker. So with that, our basic animation, everything is completed. The next thing is we can just animate the position of our cracker, so it will be coming from the outside of our window, and by the time it reaches, the cracking will be happening. and we can animate the rotation as well. So it'll have a really nice animation to it. So here you can see the position and the rotation is happening, and then the shattering is actually happening. So you can just animate however you want. I'm just making it this kind of animation, so it might look a little bit interesting. After that, you can just add easing and things like that. These are all extra things we'll be adding in order to make the animation. So that all depend on how you create the animation, and which image or what kind of animation you're going to use with this effect. So with that, I almost am ready with the final output. The next thing is we just have to add a background and text animation for our effect. So once that is done, we have to create a background. So we'll just create another solid as a bg, and we'll name it as bg, and we'll add that solid. And on that solid we can just add a gradient ramp, and then we can just select some interesting colors for our bg based on what kind of images you are selecting, and what kind of effects you want for the background. Here I'm just going with a dark red and kind of you know violet kind of color. So that will make a really interesting gradient. So once that is done, the next thing is we have to create a text. So here I'm just going to type in a text called yummy cracker, and that also these are all optional, these kind of options you can use in order to create some really simple graphic designing with creating interesting animations and things like that. So with that completed, we'll just add the text, and we'll add a text animation as well. So by the time the cracker is actually reaching the top, we want the text to be appearing. So what we'll do is we'll add an animate, and first we'll add an opacity value, and we'll reduce the value to 0. And after that we'll add a few other properties like position, and we'll just add the position and rotation and scale, things like that. And here I just added a rotation and just made some changes in the rotation, and then added a scale and scale value to be 0. And after that we'll add a position as well, and we'll move the position a bit down. So after that, when we start animating the range selector from 0 to 100, the text will be coming back to its original position with the scale, rotation, and position and opacity properties. So that will give us a really nice animation. So like I said, these are all basic things in order to and add the animation for our text and things like that. So you can just experiment with these things, and you'll be able to create something really truly interesting. So after that, we'll just add a final adjustment layer, and we'll add a vignetting effect. So our cracker animation will have more focus, and that will give us a much more interesting output. So I hope you guys learned something new from this After Effects class, and you'll be using the shatter effect in your videos. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe and turn on the notification, so you will get to see and learn more interesting tutorials and videos like this. So I hope you guys learned something new, and thank you for watching.